So Francis, we always run into this problem when we're conducting our lessons. We give them all the different cues, we tell them how to perform the skill, but when we send them out in their groups to do the drills, to do the games, all the cues that you give, they're totally unable to do it, or they can't even remember how to do it. So why do you think this happens?
Yes, I totally agree with you that I also face this problem, that give them the cues, then when we ask them to do throughout the whole lesson, they don't apply the cues at all. And I feel that one of the main reason is because the student just don't understand the amount of work, the amount of practice that they need in order to apply those skills. So for example, in the case of badminton, right, usually beginners, they don't use wrist to hit the shuttlecock. So for example, this is where they were. So one of the feedback that we teachers normally will give the student is to, okay, please try to use more wrist to hit. So to reach here. Yeah, so the question is, do our student know that from here to here is a few hundred repetition? Because if they don't know, right, they might try like 3 or 4 times, try to apply what we tell them to do. Then when they couldn't do it right, they don't see the point in carrying on. So they went back to doing what they were used to. So there was this year, I remember that I had it enough. Because every time I give them all the learning cues, the student just never do it, never apply it in the lessons. So in one of the badminton lesson, I told myself I want to achieve the learning cue. So I told the students, today I only have only one learning goal. That is, at the end of the lesson, all of you will be able to use your wrist to hit the shuttlecock. So what I did was I told the student to stand quite near to each other. Then I asked them to lightly tap the shuttlecock to their partner using their wrist only. And then try to keep the rally going for as long as possible, keep the shuttlecock in the air. And after some time, when they got confident and when they got used to it, right, they could stand a little bit further away from each other, but they still continue. But throughout that lesson, right, I could see some of the students was able to do a lot more because they had badminton background. Yep. So I asked them to do more challenging stuff. But for the majority of the class, I told them to keep doing the same thing. Yeah, maintaining the rallies, keep the shuttlecock in the air, use their wrists, only try not to use their shoulders. And then towards the end of the lesson, right, I was very surprised that I could see everyone able to hit the shuttlecock using their wrists. Yeah, so that was the time I was very happy. So I gathered the whole class and I asked them, so can you estimate roughly how many repetitions do you do throughout the lessons? And a lot of students gave me the answers around like 500, 600. Some gave me thousands of repetition. Yeah, when I heard that, right, I told the students, yeah, precisely. A lot of time we give you learning cues, learning goal, right? Like fit your wrists, follow through, bend your knees. But you need to understand that in order to apply those learning cues, you need to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Because you are trying to do something that you were not used to.
Yep.
When you're not used to something, you need to keep doing it until you're used to it.
Yep.
Until it becomes part of your muscle memory.
Yeah.
So I think when the student realized that actually it's all about practice, it's not about their natural talent or what, then they became more motivated to want to practice more.
It's through practice that it becomes natural, right?
Yeah, correct. And I think what really made the lesson very enjoyable, was that there was no classroom management issues. Everyone was very engaged. Why? I think it's because the learning task was simple.
Yep.
There was only one learning goal, and the student felt that they could achieve that learning goal, so they tried. And when they saw themselves improving, right, they became even more motivated, and then they want to do even more. Then when they were so focused on that practice, right, the time just flies, and very quickly the lesson was over. Yeah, so I think if we really want our student to enjoy learning a sports, and if we really want our student to apply the learning cues, right, the way we plan our lesson, we really need to give the student enough time and such that they have a lot of repetition, a lot of practice until they can apply the learning cues. And when they can apply the learning cues, then that's when they start to realize, oh, I can learn that sport. And that's when they start to want to learn the sport even more.
So it's important to give them enough practice time.
Yeah.